Is there a relationship between moral belief and good or moral action? What's the difference between what one believes and what one actually does?
The link between moral knowledge and moral action is a conundrum for the field. Plato had a maxim, to know the good is to do the good. And some people believe that if you really did know and understand the good, you would act upon it. But I think we all witness this gap in our life or in other people's lives. It's easier perhaps to see in other people than in ourselves, but where we fail to act on something. And this problem of the gap is a difficult one. I think what we do know is that people who are more mature in their moral understandings, at a higher level of moral functioning, tend to think in more universalizable terms, and that forces them to be more consistent in their beliefs and how they act upon them. But beyond that, there is the sense of having morality as core in your life. You could say that it's forming part of your identity, that morality is part of your identity. And that to violate your moral understandings, your moral beliefs, is not some trivial thing, but it strikes at the core of who you are. So I think there is that notion of identity that helps to bridge the gap, and that when there is a temptation not to behave in a way that you believe is right, that moral emotions will kick into place that will make you anticipate guilt, or it might lead you to feel some empathy when you wouldn't ordinarily do that. And I think as the field progresses, we'll have a more comprehensive understanding of how pure thought gets connected to behavior. Because when we divide up morality in these different slices, we destroy it in some sense. So if we just talk about moral judgment or moral reasoning, we've trivialized what morality is about. I mean, who cares, really, what people say about morality? It needs to have some connection to real life, and so putting those things together is the real issue for us. There certainly are lots of indicators that indicate that many societies, American society, is in moral decline. If you look at the number of people we have in prisons, for example, it would seem to indicate that this is not a good place, a good time. But on the other hand, there are many indicators indicating that in some sense our society in general has become more sensitive to moral issues and more willing to grapple with moral issues. There's more discussion about many things. And I think we've been able to discover some important things that parents can do to promote their children's development. And some of these things include a willingness to listen to children and to value what they say and to support them in their decision making, rather than trying to feed them the right answers to life's problems. And it's a process that, we know as Socratic questioning, where you draw the right answer out of the child by asking good questions. And the answer to the problem comes from the child. They came up with it, and you've simply led them to the trough, in some sense, to drink. But it would never work if you shoved their face in it. So that requires parents to be smart, to think about what their child is saying and to ask good questions about the issues they're dealing with, and to be supportive as they go along.